oxidation on it. You can barely even see the Damascus cladding on the sides. The end cap here just shows you also really lots of oxidation. I started cleaning it's not really a bolster area, but where it attaches to the handle, because Japanese knives don't have bolsters. But you can see how much nicer that already looks. And I'm going to show you how I polish up this handle. But let me show you the power again of these dental radial discs. So I'm going to start with the 220 here. So I'm just going very light. Across there, and you can now start to see we're bringing back some of that Damascus. And I'm gonna finish on Shuns. I always like to finish polishing in this direction because they tend to go, the grain tends to run that direction on them. But at first I'm just going to get off just this. There's just a lot of oxidation on this one, so I'm going to get it all off first, and I'll worry about cleaning it up at the end. And that's the same if you're going to polish it on a buff. I always like to do these finishing in the direction of the point or the blade. Yeah, so that looks so much better already. And this is still just me trying to get the oxidation off. Alrighty. So you can see it's coming along there. I mean, look at it. We've almost completely restored all the shine to this. And now we can see this Damascus in there again. It's not taking it off. It's just revealing it under, here you can see all the oxidized on the other side. But now I'm going to switch over. I'm going to wet it a little, just to help it out even a little more. And when I buff these, I always like to buff them in this direction. But this right here is just, right now I'm just taking off all that oxidation. I'll wipe it right onto the towel. Let me show you. See that? All that black oxidation just coming off of there. Yeah, so that looks good. Alright, I'm going to hit the other side here. This side's just as dirty, so I'm going to do a little wet removal. I'll do a wipe again. Look at that. All that black stuff, that's what's coming off. That's all that oxidation. Now, even though it's stainless steel, it will oxidize and just won't look as nice as it did as when they first got it. But we can get that off. Just a little bit of work. And a radial abrasive disc. So I think that's most of the oxidation. I'm just going to give it a cleaning. Oh yeah, a lot more came off there. So now I'm going to go to my 400 here and start polishing this. And if you really want something to shine a lot, if you go both directions with a radial abrasive disc, Just make sure you finish in the direction of whatever the grain is. It will really, really shine. I mean, you could put a mirror finish on stuff. It just takes some time. But they don't remove it. They're really polishing, and I think that's what some people sometimes forget. It's not, its purpose is not to remove metal. These are for polishing. And they're actually really safe because they're not really removing large amounts of metal. They're not really, they're just clean, they're working on the surface area. And something like this that's really heavily oxidized, it does not hurt to keep wiping it off, because the oxidation, sometimes it's even a little sticky, and you'll see it will, if you don't get it off right away, it will kind of stick back to the knife again. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to work on getting the proper grain pattern back in, which on Shun's goes lengthwise, tip to heel. On most of your Western knives, your Wusthoffs and Henkels and stuff, goes the total opposite direction. Yep, and just more coming off. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is use a little flit. So I want to start evening this out. So I'm going to put some flits on here. Look at all that. So I'm going to grab a new spot here. So this is almost a almost a quick Shun rehab. One that just is in great shape. It's got some chips in it. I'm going to sharpen it last, as I always do, because you know, if you get a little too close to your edge with the buffer, you could dull what you just sharpened. You can see how much oxidation's still coming off of there. Alright. Oh, we forgot to do this end cap, so let's hit that. I'm going to hit that with the buffer too, and I'll show you how I use a plastic or plastic plus wood polish for that. So these I like to go long ways. My goal here now is just evening out that finish. Let's see if we can bring back some of that Damascus that you could hardly even see. Look, and it's coming back nice. Can you guys see that? Oh, low power mode. See how nice that's looking? Look at that. And it doesn't even look like the same knife. Now many times I'd looked into, I wanted to see if you could re-etch a Shun, but I have not found anyone that's really been successful doing that. I've seen, you know, sometimes you'll see these where they're literally have been scrubbed so many times clean that the Damascus cladding down here you can't even see. And the few things I've seen where people did try and, you know, re-dip it have not worked out. They basically said, yeah, you know, I tried re-etching it and then repolishing, and that doesn't seem to be a very good solution. So I've never bothered with that, because clearly other people have tried, and I haven't found anybody who said, yep, this is, you know, this works. And And I wouldn't want to experiment with a client's knives. I like to do stuff that I know for sure is going to work and couldn't damage it. So, you know, if someone gave me an old Shun to, or if I could find one somewhere to buy and just experiment with it, I would probably try that. But, yeah, that's looking pretty darn good. So now I'm going to go over to my other buffer. So this is my fine buff. And same thing. On Shuns, I like to go long ways. They never look right if you go the other direction. But with these, I always like to go when I'm finishing them off. I like to go this way. Oh, we never did the end here. Let me show you the end cap here. And this does not take long at all. This is literally just a few seconds. Yeah, that looks way better. I haven't even wiped it off. You can see how beautiful that looks. Alright. Now, I'm going to do the handle for you real quick. This is some plastic polish and wood polish. It works on both plastic handles and wood. And I like to just get in there and retouch that whole thing. That Shun is looking really, really nice. Just needs a little more wipe down. There's a few spots here I need to clean up. But that is roughly how I will clean up a Shun that comes in and just looks like it hasn't been really polished well in several years, and make it look nice and new. Alrighty, so now I will start sharpening this Shun now that it's completely polished up and looking great again. So here's my nicely repolished Shun looking great. I just finished sharpening it. Let's do a quick cut test. So I like to see Japanese knives should push cut. And you can see that is just push cutting beautifully. And this baby is ready to go back.